What's Gucci everyone, it's AJ here again, and in this video I hope to go over loops and get into functions at the end. So in the last video we went over one set of while loops and for loops, and in this video I hope to show you guys two different types of for loops. So this for loop is again, uses the keyword for, and then you want to initialize, you want to kind of say a variable which your loop is going to get set to as the loop iterates through, changes course. And so then we're going to use this keyword in, and I'm going to do a set of numbers or a range I want to loop through. So let's say I want to loop from 10 to 15. Well, I'm going to do for 1 in ... 10 ... 15, and then I'm going to do braces. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do print line I. So what this will do, forgot I should put the I in between the braces, is this will print out 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. And as you can see right over here in this little terminal, that's what it did. It printed out 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Now, if you're thinking really carefully, you may be thinking, oh, well, I wanted to print out 15 too. So this for loop will print out any range I put in here. It will do 100 to, do 100 to 150. But then it will only go up to 149, and I can do that either way. It will only go up, though. It won't go down, which is something that I don't know how to do at this current point. But that is not the point. We're going to worry on the syntax. If I do figure out, I'll post another video. But now we're going to focus on the problem that I've kind of been trying to keep track of. So if I switch this back to 10 and 15, what we have here is a for loop with the ... The ... is being exclusive, meaning it's going up to 15, but it's excluding, it's not including it. And so if we want to simply include 15, all we got to do is we have to add another dot. And this makes it inclusive, including 15. And it gives me 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, as you see right there. So that's a pretty awesome for loop. And the kind of slow way to do this is I can do for var I equals 0, as long as I is less than, let's do 15, and then as long as I is less than 15, I can do, plus I. And so now what I've done, let's see if this all works. Do print I. So now what I've done here is in this for loop, I've created a var, set it equal to 0, and put a semicolon in it. And where you see the semicolons right here is where I have each step. So in this for loop, it's divided up into 3 steps. The first part of the for loop is the initialization step, which only happens once. So what I'm doing here is I'm saying, okay, variable I is equal to 0. So I'm initializing something to 0. And then the second part is my condition. My condition says, okay, what is the condition of this loop? When should I stop looping? And I say when I is less it's not my stopping condition, it's my keep on going condition. So I keep on going as long as I is less than 15. As soon as that stops happening, I break out of the loop. And then the last step says my increment loop. So what do I do? And plus I is a quick way of saying, here I'll do this here, I equals I plus 1. Essentially, it's very shorthand to increase a variable because this happens a lot in programming. So now every time this loop gets executed, it's going to check this. The first time it's going to check this condition, but then every time after the first time, it's going to check this condition if it's true or not to break out, and it's also going to run this condition, the increment step, to keep on incrementing the variable. So if you can think correctly here, this loop will print out 0 through what, 14 or 15? It will print out 0 through 14 as you see here, because what I'm doing is doing something kind of clever, is that I'm saying less than 15. So as soon as it gets to 15, it's 15 isn't less than 15, so it will stop right there. So that's a pretty cool way to do the loop as well. And that's what you see a lot in C++ and C and Java. So now we're going to do functions. So functions are a way to encapsulate data to, for instance, do things multiple times with ease. So the way you declare a function is you say funct, and then you could give it a name. So we'll make a greet function. And things with your functions, our functions are things that you do. But a lot of times when you do things, you need other things. Like for instance, to add something, you need 2 numbers. You need to be given 2 numbers. And functions, most of the time they need things, and they output things. So when I add something, I need two numbers, but then I output the sum of those two numbers. I give myself back a number, or just one number, which is the sum. So right now we're going to make a greet function, and that's going to do something it's going to take a name and a date, and it's going to greet us with that name and the date. So let's do that. So I'm going to do name, and that's going to be the name of the variable I want, and it's going to be a name, and I'm going to set it to type string, and then I'm going to do a date, and I'm going to make that a string too. I'm not going to overcomplicate things here. And so those are the two parameters I need, just like those two numbers. And then to specify what I'm returning, I do an arrow just to kind of say, okay, I'm going to give back a string here. And so what this means here is I have a function named greet that takes two parameters, a name, which is a string, a date, which is a string, and it returns a string. And now I need to do the body of it. So the reason because I've been saying return a lot is because return is actually a keyword as well. Gosh, I need to make sure that it goes away. All that autofill stuff goes away. So what do I want to return? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to return using the parameters that I was given. So I'm going to say hello name, and I'm going to use that / syntax I showed you guys in the other video. Hello name, it is / date. And now what we're going to do is, I have the function name, the parameters, the return type, and what it returns, so what it gives back to the user. So now I'm going to call the function. So I'm going to say greet, give it the first parameter of AJ, and I'm making this on a Friday, so yeah, so there we go. And as you can see there, it says hello AJ, it is Friday. And what's awesome about this function is I can reuse it as many times as I want. So I can call it again with Bob and say this is Thursday. So this is the power of a function. So if you write something like a complicated derivative math function, you can just put in different numbers and still get the right answer, because it will do different things based on the parameters. So I put in Bob and Thursday and said, hello Bob, it is Thursday. That's pretty awesome. Well guys, I'm going to end the video off right here. I have some other things to show you, but I'll show you guys tomorrow. So have a great day, guys, and I usually don't say this, but please like and subscribe if you want. It really does a lot of good help with the algorithms of how YouTube shows its videos to other viewers, and that would be really nice. But above all, have the best day of your life, guys.